Welcome back to The Explainer. Today, we're diving into something totally mind-bending, an amazing intersection between cutting-edge quantum physics and ancient Kabbalistic mysticism. I am absolutely thrilled to share this with you today because it bridges two worlds that we usually think of as total opposites, right? The rigorous, mathematical world of modern science and the deep, spiritual world of ancient texts.
I mean, think about it. What if quantum physicists and ancient mystics actually stumbled onto the exact same secret to the universe? Throughout this explainer, we are going to completely shatter our traditional understanding of 3D reality. We're going to see how two totally different languages, one using complex equations and one using spiritual matrices, actually describe the exact same underlying architecture of everything around us.
Okay, let's jump right into section 1. Reality is not matter, it's music.
So, to really see how these worlds connect, we kind of have to look past the dense math equations. Traditional 3D physics usually treats things like protons and electrons as these fixed, static little objects, kind of like tiny billiard balls bouncing around. But string theory and ancient mystical texts, like the 72 Names of God, they see it completely differently. They see a universe of dynamic, flowing energy, a universe that isn't made of hard stuff at all, but of vibration.
Right, so, string theory. It's this cutting-edge branch of physics that basically says the universe isn't made of hard particles. Instead, it argues that literally everything in the cosmos is made out of the exact same fundamental ingredient. And what is it? Just infinitesimally tiny, one-dimensional, vibrating loops of energy. And yeah, we just call them strings. To really wrap our heads around this, just think about a guitar. A single guitar string can create totally different musical notes, an A, a G, maybe a C, and that depends entirely on how fast it vibrates. Well, the strings of the universe work the exact same way. They create all the different subatomic particles just based on their rhythmic resonance. Like, what actually makes an electron different from a quark? It's literally just the frequency of its vibration. The universe is quite honestly a giant cosmic symphony, and the matter we interact with every single day is just music made manifest. And this is exactly where things get wild, because it perfectly illustrates the ancient concept of Lauviah. So Lauviah is a specific phonetic and spiritual string, spelled Lauvih, found within the 72 Names of God. Now, this isn't some static object or a physical idol. Instead, it acts as the literal spiritual blueprint for the exact scientific phenomenon we were just talking about. It's a dynamic, flowing vibrational frequency that actively alters reality, depending entirely on how it's harmonized.
Moving on to section 2, hidden dimensions and dual coordinates.
Because look, the story definitely doesn't stop at just one vibrating string. One of the most radical claims of string theory is that our everyday world, the 3 dimensions of space and one of time, is just a tiny, tiny fraction of the whole picture. For the insanely complex mathematics of string theory to actually work out perfectly without completely short-circuiting, physicists realized the universe must actually possess 10, 11, or even 26 dimensions. Now, I know what you're probably thinking. Where are they? Well, these extra dimensions are tightly curled up. They're totally hidden from our normal human eyesight, operating down at this microscopic level. But even though we can only see 4 dimensions as we go about our daily lives, these hidden dimensions are the invisible architecture of the whole matrix. They are completely dictating how energy moves and manifests right here in our visible world. And here is where it gets absolutely fascinating. Lauviah provides this flawless Kabbalistic proof of these extra dimensions. See, out of the entire ancient 72-fold matrix, Lauviah is literally the only name that shows up twice. It occupies 2 distinct separate coordinates, the 11th and the 17th. In standard everyday 3D logic, a thing obviously can't be in 2 places at once. But in string theory, a single string can actually vibrate in one dimension while simultaneously echoing through a totally hidden higher dimension. And Lauviah perfectly mirrors this. It vibrates at this hyper-fast, high-frequency cosmic lambda of the 11th coordinate, which is associated with the cherubim, while simultaneously anchoring deep into the foundational epsilon frequency of the 17th coordinate, or the thrones. It is literally vibrating across 2 different dimensions at the exact same time.
Which brings us to section 3, the golden torus field, or the closed circuit.
So, vibrating across dimensions actually creates a very specific geometric shape of reality. In advanced string theory, physicists study these things called closed strings. Unlike, say, an open piece of string you'd use to tie up a package, these are microscopic loops of energy without any open ends. And because they're closed loops, their energetic fields naturally curve right back on themselves. This ends up creating a microscopic, self-generating, self-contained shape known as a torus field. Just picture a continuously flowing energetic donut.
Well, guess what? Lauviah operates the exact same way. It fountains outward through the 11th ray, which is this hyper-aware, explosive energy known as Uranian lightning. And then it naturally curves back inward through the 17th ray, a really deep, structuring energy known as Saturnian protection. By looping from 11 down to 17, it forms a perfectly closed circuit. It generates this unshakable, golden torus field around whoever activates it, flawlessly matching the physics of a closed quantum string.
All right, last part, Section 4, Einstein's master key and the grand unification.
This closed-loop structural harmony, it really brings everything together. You see, Albert Einstein actually spent his final decades passionately searching for one master key. He called it the unified field theory. He was desperately looking for a single equation that could seamlessly link the heavy, massive gravity of the cosmos, like planets and stars, with the incredibly tiny electrical interactions of quantum particles. He basically wanted to prove that it was all one single cohesive system.
And string theory is by far the closest modern science has ever come to finding this elusive key. But here is the massive takeaway for us today. By recognizing that Lauviah is a dual-dimensional closed-loop vibrational string, one that actually harmonizes the human nervous system, you are holding the literal ancient proof of that ultimate unity. It's the bridge between the physical matrix we walk around in and pure cosmic consciousness.
I really want you to think about this for a second. Modern quantum physicists and ancient mystics are standing at the exact same portal. They are staring at the exact same truth, just using totally different languages to describe it. The universe isn't just some random collection of separate, disconnected pieces. No, it's a beautifully orchestrated, mathematically perfect, gilded tapestry of light and sound.
Which brings us to the final, and probably the most important question. As you walk away from this explainer today, I want you to consider your role in this incredible matrix. You're not just a passive bystander, you are the conscious observer. You're crowned with the profound power to actually shape your own reality through the frequencies you choose to resonate with. So, if you hold the power to play the chords of the universe, what frequency will you tune yourself to today?